Hi everyone! I know there's been a lot of questions about the differences and similarities between the Cricut Explore line and the Cricut Maker. They're both great, they're all great machines, but there are definitely some new and improved features on the Cricut Maker that might make you change your mind about which one you're going to get or if you want to upgrade in the future. So I'm just going to do a little brief comparison here, and if you have any questions, let me know. Here are the two machines I have. I have the new Cricut Maker, which I just received a few days ago, and then I have the Cricut Explore Air. The Explore line, I think there's 4 different machines. There's the Explore 1, the Explore Air, and the Explore Air 2. The main difference between the Air 1 and the Air 2 is that the Air 2 has the 2 times faster cutting and writing, which does make a difference, but and I definitely see that with the Cricut Maker when I'm using it now compared to the Explore Air. But those are the main differences between those two machines. The Explore 1 only has the single tool holder, though you can buy the extra, the adapter. And the Explore and Explore 1 both don't have Bluetooth automatically installed. You can buy an adapter though. So I'm going to just be doing the main differences between the Explore machines, the Explore Air and the Explore 2 and the Cricut Maker. So here's just a first look at the Maker. There are some design improvements. They've really put a lot of attention to detail on this machine. As you can tell, the lid on this one is the metal compared to plastic. They've added 2 tool holders here, which is really nice. And not only is there 2, but they've improved the quality and the design. So this first cup, you can't really see, but it's a lot more shallow, and it's for your smaller tools like your blades. And then the back one is quite a bit deeper than this one and the previous one. I'd say probably about a good inch or 2 deeper. And what I like the most is that they've added a rubber bottom to these, so you're not going to damage your blade or your tips when you put them in the machine or into the cups like that. So I really like how they've changed that. Another big difference is that there is no longer a open button. See, on the Explore Air, they have the open button, which opens it like that. Definitely a favorite feature of my son's, which isn't necessarily my favorite feature for that reason. But with the Cricut Maker, they've made it so it's just an easy one. I mean, they're both easy, but this no longer has a button. You just put that lid up, and it opens beautifully like that. So that's another design difference between the two machines that you will notice. And I would say the biggest difference that you're going to see is that the Explore Air machines have the smart dial. No more smart dial. I was a little sad because I actually really like the smart dial. I feel like it's pretty convenient. But from what I understand, they felt like it was limiting people and made them feel like, even though it could cut hundreds of different materials, a lot of people saw just like these, 7 or 8 features, materials on here, and they kind of just stuck to those. And with the Cricut Maker, there's just endless possibilities of what you can do. So they've removed that, and they've improved design space where it's super easy to pick the materials you want, and there's just endless possibilities with what you can do. So those are the main outside design changes. You'll also see that on the outside they used to have the buttons, and now the buttons are on the inside. They've changed the look and the feel of those as well. These are more level with the rest of the machine. These are more raised, which, it's just personal preference there, if you like it or not. They're both equipped for Bluetooth, so they work with the Design Space apps, and as well as, connecting Bluetooth or wirelessly with Bluetooth via your computer. Let's see. So let's open the machine. It does have the 2 tools, the 2 tool holders, which is what you'll find with the Explore and the Explore Air 1 and 2. So that's not a huge difference. It just looks a little bit nicer. but still same functionality. So I'll show you the inside of this one. Just more plasticky looking over here. This is metal on most of it. Some of the big features about the Maker is that this machine is for more than just general crafting, which the Explore Air, it's great for paper cutting, vinyl, some fabrics if it has, you know, the bonded back, or the adhesive back. I mean, there's hundreds of materials you can cut with it in projects, but with the Maker, it's really opened up the possibilities, especially if you are into sewing or you wanted to cut the thicker materials, because it exerts 4,000 grams of more than the Explore. Like my little boy could pick up this one, but I'm not sure. I think he might have a little more trouble with this. So it's just a very powerful machine. It's very exerts a lot of pressure, and they have 2 new blades. So here is the rotary blade, which is what I've been most excited about. It really just changes the game for people that like to sew, because this can cut so many different kinds of fabric. I did a video earlier where I cut tons of different kinds of fabric, and I will post a link to that later, but as you can see, you know, it cut all these stars pretty easily. So that's a really cool tool, and this only works with the Maker. You're not going to be able to use it with the Explore Air. And then they're coming out with the knife blade, which I think will be released in October. And this is going to be the one that's going to cut through all of the material, all those thick materials. So I think it's about 2.44 millimeters thick. So balsa wood, leather, chipboard, just any of those materials that, you know, weren't quite thick enough or were a little bit too thick for the Air, you're going to be able to cut beautifully with the Maker. These both all work with the Design Space 3, which is available on, you know, the website and the apps. One thing that some people might be disappointed with is that the Cricut Maker does not work with the Cricut cartridges right out of the box. You can get a separate purchase required for that, but the Air will use your old cartridges or any new ones that you may have. So if you've been using Cricut for a long time and you have tons of cartridges, it's not going to work with the Maker without the separate purchase required. They both have fast mode, or the Maker has fast mode, which is similar to the Cricut Explore Air 2. And the biggest thing is an adaptive tool system. So I know a lot of people are like, well, are they going to keep releasing all of these new machines? Am I going to have to update the machine every year or every 2 years? What their goal was with the Cricut Maker was to make it so the machine, it grows with you as the company grows. As they release more and more features and tools, your machine is going to work with those, which I love, because I mean, I don't like to, these are expensive machines. The Maker is $3.99, and then, you know, the Explore Air and the Explore line, you can find those anywhere from, you know, $150 to $300, just depending on the package that you buy. So obviously it's an investment. So you want a machine that's going to last you a long time. So the Maker is definitely going to do that, and it's a machine for all makers, which is why it's called the Cricut Maker, because they really want to make crafting accessible to everyone of all ages, you know, from children all the way up to people, you know, that are in the latter years of their life. Definitely the sewing is a huge draw for a lot of people, myself included. I love to sew, but, you know, all the prep work has always kind of deterred me from doing some more complicated projects, and so I'm super excited to be able to do those more. Design Space is going to have tons of patterns available from Simplicity, Riley Blake, and they may be partnering with other companies, but those are the 2 I know of for sure. And those patterns are beautiful because you just send it to cut, and it cuts them out, and with the washable fabric marker that you can buy, it puts all of the seam allowances and markings on there, and then it just cuts it out in just a matter of 10 minutes, as opposed to cutting out the patterns yourself, which can take over an hour. So this machine is beautiful, and they just have put so much attention to detail. One more thing that I forgot to mention was that they put this slot up here where you can put your iPads, your tablets, your phones, just to make mobile cutting even easier. Both of these all of the machines are still wonderful. The Explore Air is not becoming outdated, or they're not going to stop, doing updates for it, or tutorials. But They're definitely two great machines to choose from, and it all just depends on what you want to do with it. So if you aren't necessarily going to do any fabric or felt or thicker material, you might be able to really enjoy the Cricut Explore Air 2. Two or one or whatever you end up going with. I've loved the machine. I've been able to do so much, and it really helps with crafting and cutting and all sorts of things like that. So it's a great machine still. The Maker is definitely a step up, and I love it, and I'm really excited to be doing more projects in the future with it. So hopefully this video will give you some good insight into which machine might be best for you, and I would love to hear any questions you have, or if you have anything that you'd like me to cover in the future.